JP Morosi on the inside corner. Braves fans riding the high of last night's win in Los Angeles, but more encouragement on the way in the form of Ronald Acuña Jr. We saw him in the rehab start, double off the wall. What'd you see, and what's the timetable for him?
Lauren, good morning. Very exciting news for the Braves to see Acuña back and playing in an organized game against the other team's competition for the first time since last July. So 1 for 3 with the double. The extra base power clearly is still there for Acuña. Lauren, the Braves believe he could be back potentially within the next 2 to 3 weeks to the Major League roster and the Major League lineup. And here is where having the DH is a luxury for the Braves, because they could bring Acuña back potentially exclusively as a DH, or mix in some DH days to make sure that ACL has plenty of time to get fully comfortable at the Major League level. So again, last night full of great news for the Braves. Fried was perfect for 5+,
yes,
and then of course Acuña back on the field. So lots of good news right now for the Atlanta Braves.
An infusion of energy coming soon. Same can be said for the Padres. Mike Clevinger working his way back. We know about the big surgery, but is the knee still bothering him? What do you know, JP?
Well, Lauren, a great question. Last night he was able to get to 3 innings in his minor league rehab start. Very good news for the Padres, because as you point out, it's Tommy John surgery plus an issue with his knee that he dealt with during the course of spring training. But as you see there, Clevinger back on the mound, comfortable. He could be back again within the next 2 to 3 weeks for the San Diego Padres. He'll probably make his return before Blake Snell comes back with that adductor issue that we talked about on the show last week. So overall, Lauren, I think the Padres have had a better start than maybe they're getting credit for right now. You see what Minaya has done. Musgrove, another outstanding start for him. Mackenzie Gore's now in the rotation. Nick Martinez has been pretty good for them as well. The Padres, I believe, once you add Clevinger back into this mix, they're going to have a really, really good rotation. I think one of the very best right now in the National League.
And that's a great list you listed off. Need all of the arms they can get. That's true for every team. Gerrit Cole, we saw him, not himself. My question is, do you keep him in to kind of work through those struggles? Bullpen's been great, but if they're going to go where they want to, they need him.
You're right, Lauren, and certainly congratulations to Clark Schmidt yesterday with a very strong outing in support of Gerrit Cole. I think, Lauren, and Aaron Boone has said this, that Cole is not quite as far away from being himself as the numbers would indicate.
Okay.
And I think you could look at the strikeout numbers to affirm that. He is still striking out more than one batter per inning. That's the good news. The bad news is the walk total is really high, and certainly yesterday he was not efficient at all with all of those walks. In Garrett's defense, and in defense of my beautiful home state, temperatures were in the low 40s yesterday in Detroit. It was not an optimal day to pitch. We saw that even as well on the opposite side with Tyler Alexander's start. So certainly Cole, it's not vintage form right now. We know that. Weather, I think, has been a factor for him early on. I really would say if I'm the Yankees, I would wait, as much as certainly New York fans don't want to hear this. I'd probably wait another couple of weeks before I really sound the alarm on this. He has shown still some moments where it's been more like himself from years past. Again, I would say another couple weeks of pitching before you really sound that alarm. On the bright side, Nestor Cortes has been outstanding. Again, his command has been pinpoint. 16 strikeouts, Lauren, for Cortes so far against just 1 walk.
Oh, wow. Incredible. And Aaron Boone has weapons for days out of that bullpen. They have been great. We did our name-dropping segment. I know you watch this show, JP. And the other day, D-Rose said Jesús Sánchez. And I spoke with his skipper in spring training. He said his ceiling's high. What do you like about him?
Really high, and what an impactful start to the season for Sanchez, playing center field for the Miami Marlins. I really want to give him some attention here, because that was a huge trade they made to get him a couple of years ago, and now he is leading off basically every day, playing a very good center field. That was the question for Sanchez. Was he going to be a corner outfielder, or could he play center field? Look at these numbers so far. Again, it's a limited look, but when your OPS is above 1,000 and you're still a young player playing every single day and playing center field, batting leadoff, you're going to get the attention. So I think the Marlins, you look at their revamped lineup, of course, they bring in Soler. I really like what Sanchez has been able to do. You see it there, a very powerful swing, from the left side. So Miami, I want to make sure in a very crowded division, we talked about all the different contending clubs there. His dynamic ability, I think, has a chance to become a cornerstone for this franchise now for years and years to come. So great news there for Sanchez to bat lead off. And I think a lot of questions in spring training. Could he handle a position defensively? He is answering all of them with a resounding yes so far this season.
You should see D-Row to my right. He's going, called it. Called it. He's all knowing.
Thanks, D-Row. My pleasure, my
you
friend.
You can degree.
Yeah, you were on it, D-Row. You called it. You called it. Well done. Now, of course, D-Row, you would say this. You are a little bit concerned if your predictions align with my predictions.
Yeah,
but hopefully for
be.
Jesus' case, we're on the same wavelength here, my friend.
All right, JP.
Credit where
Toughest thing we do, right? The prediction segment.
They're always wrong,
Yeah.
especially JP's. Love you just the same, okay?